well. I hope you're all doing well. You've had a good morning and you've had a good day, right? So thank you so much for taking time to attend today's session. And I know you've attended the other sessions and you've enjoyed the sessions. So basically, this is the fifth topic. Yeah, this is the fifth topic in this training series. And what we're going to look at today is using data and insights to help grow your business. So, how do you look at data? How do you collect data? How do you collect insights that will help you at the end of the day in, um, making better marketing decisions? Okay. So thank you so much for joining us today. With me here, I have two of my colleagues. I have Lorian. You can see her in the chat section already. So you can say hi to Lauren. She's joining you from Cameroon, or rather joining us from Cameroon. And then I also have Dinah on the call. They will be moderating today's session. So picking your questions. If you have any inquiries, you can always feel free to drop them in the chat section. I'll also be coming back to pick one or two questions as we move along. Remember, the session only lasts for 1 hour. So I'm hoping that we get to cover all, the content today in that time. So if you've just joined us, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat section and, tell us your name and tell us where you are joining us from. My name is Berry Lokwach. I'm a trainer with Impacta and I'll be taking today's session. So Napiese TV, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Okay. So thank you so much, Napiesa, for the. Is she the only one who's here? Is she the only one who's here? So if you just joined us, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat section and tell us where you are joining us from. Lauren and Dinah. Dinah is under the name Jen Francis. So Lauren and Dinah are my colleagues at Impacta, and they will be moderating today's session. Just to repeat my name is Berry Lokwach, and I'm a trainer with Impacta. Okay, so I said it correctly. I'm really happy. I was, I wasn't sure that I said it the right way. I pronounced it the right way. So yeah, I'm happy to hear that I said it well. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? I hope you've had a good morning and you've been looking forward to, today's session. So, like I said, what we're going to look at today is using data and insights to help your business grow. So how do you go about with, the kind of data that you need to get? How do you decide on, this is the kind of information that I want to get? Where do I get this information? What do I do with this information? That's what we're going to look at today. So our session is divided into three agendas. Okay. So my network is not responding. Let me just reload my slide. Okay, just hold on. I am reloading my slide. Just give me a second. Yeah. So my session, I think there's a problem with my net, right? Okay. So like I said, this session using data and insights is divided into three topics. The first thing you need to understand is how do you understand the right questions to ask, right? So you need to collect data. You need to collect some information that will help you to make better marketing decisions. So how do you curate the kind of questions that will guide you towards your data collection, right? And then what are the tools that you can use to collect that data in terms of, where do you get sufficient information to respond to the questions that you ask yourself initially? And then you're looking at, this is the information that I've collected. How do I analyze it? How do I present it to actually make sense? Okay, because it has to make sense at the end of the day. So those are the three things that we're going to cover. Those are our three agendas. But before we get into, before we deep dive into our topic today, there is a project that we're running in partnership with Google. It's called the Google Hustle Academy. It's a 1 week long boot camp where you get to learn about, it's basically a 360-degree entrepreneurial boot camp, if I may say. So if you want to learn how to pitch your business, this is the place to be. How do you create your own pitching deck, all right? And then how do you come up with your own business strategy? All right. You also want to look at your finances. How do you create your financial contingency plan? How do you look at effective business financing? Okay. How do you get into digital marketing, the practical bits of digital marketing? So, all these things are covered in the Google Hustle Academy. It's a free, you don't pay anything, week long bootcamp. So, Lauren or Dinah will post the link in the chat section. Please make sure you sign up for the Google Hustle Academy. So before we get started, I really like my sessions to be very, very, very interactive. I don't want it to feel like it's a lecture. I am talking, and then I leave at the end of the day, you know. So I also need to get some feedback from you. So let me know, what are some of the best, I mean, what words would you use to describe your customers? Okay. It could be maybe they're fun. So I'm just giving you an example. Maybe they're fun or they like to bargain. Okay. So I wouldn't know about your customers. So maybe you can tell me, what words would you use to best describe your customers? Omono, Ruth, hi. And then Ice Discomfort. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay. So let me know. Like I said, I really like my sessions to be very, very interactive. So you can tell me, what words would you use to describe your customers? What words would you use to describe your customers? Do they like to bargain? Are they fun-loving people? Are they corporate people? Huh? I don't know about your customers. So you have your business, you understand your customers better. So I'm just trying to get, a feel of who you deal with on a day-to-day basis. Rebecca is joining from Abuja, Nigeria. Ice discomfort. Nice to see that you're doing well. So maybe you can also tell me, you can let me know, what words would you use to describe your customers? How would you describe your customers? Or you can say, I don't like my customers. It's also an option. There's no wrong or right answer. Okay. Kokushubila Kabanza. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Kokushubila Kabanza. So just give me I'm actually waiting for your responses. So I'm looking at the chat section. Thank you so much, Kabanza. Kabanza says she deals with customers who are young parents, 25 to 35 years old. That's really nice. I love that you understand the demography of your clients. Napiese says, my name is Ase. I'm joining from Lagos. I'm a founder and CEO of Napiese. My customers are super highly sensitive, empaths, and HSP to be precise. Wait, so what does HSP mean? You see, so this is how I learn from you and you learn from me. So I don't know what HSP means, but Napiese she can tell me. So the next time I get to hear about that word, I'll obviously know what it means. So this is now me learning from you as well. Okay. ICD says, my customers are like my family. I love to satisfy them because they're kings and queens. Wow. Customer is always the king. Like the way we say content is king, customers are your king, because customers are always right at the end of the day. You see, highly sensitive people. So now I've known what the acronym means. Anytime I see HSP along the way, or I hear someone talk about HSP, I would know that it means highly sensitive people. So thank you, PSA, for that. Owano says, my customers are superb. And Rebecca, my customers are very reliable. That's good. That's really, really good. Thank you all so much for the responses. We'll just move on to the next part of our session. Again, remember I said that our topic today is divided into three, right? Into three agendas. So the first thing we said we're going to look at is understanding the right questions to ask as a business. What are some of the questions that I can ask to give me the information that I need to make better business decisions or marketing decisions? Okay. So since you've got an understanding of your clients, and there's a way that you can describe them. If you look at your business right now and your products or your services, depending on what you're dealing with, what questions would you want to ask your customers? what kind of information would you want to get from them? So that basically takes you to the kind of questions to ask them. What are some of the questions that you can ask your customers? What are some of the questions that you can ask your customers? It could be you want to ask them, if they're satisfied with, um, either your product or your service. So it could be that, if I had a business, I would want to, ask my customers if they are satisfied, with my product or my service. So that's an example from me. Now, from you, what are some of the questions that you would want to ask your customers? What are some of the questions that you would want to ask your customers? Let me see your comments in the chat section, please. What are some of the questions that you would like to ask your customers? Yes? What questions would you want to ask your customers? Thank you so much, Dinah. So Dinah has also posted the question for me in the chat section, and I will be waiting for your responses. What questions do you want to ask your customers? And I gave an example. I would want to know if they're satisfied with my product or my service. And I've seen some of us have already gone and hit the like button. So thank you all so much for that. You can also click the like button to like this session and follow our YouTube channel. Click the bell icon to get notifications on other future sessions. ICD's Comfort says, yes, we need to get feedback from them, get their reviews from time to time. Yes, and you will understand the power of reviews. Reviews actually help in terms of, encouraging other customers to even purchase with you. If I come to your Facebook page and I see you have good reviews, or I come to your Google business profile, we covered the Google business profile in the previous session. So if I come to your Google business profile and I see you have tons of positive reviews, as a potential customer, I would feel encouraged to actually convert with you. Okay. So Ruth also says to give me review. So that's very good. Thank you so much for your responses. So when you're looking at the process of analytics has 4 steps, okay? So there are 4 things that you need to look at when you want to get started with the process of analytics. The first thing you need to understand is, what is my objective? What do I want to achieve? Okay, what is my end goal? And then what question do I need to address? Okay, so what is my end goal? What question do I need to address? Where do I get this information from? And then lastly, what do I do with this information? Because I'm not just collecting information to shelve that information. Otherwise, there's no point in putting in effort in terms of, getting started with analytics. So once I collect this information, I have to act on it. Okay, so what do I do with that information? So under when you're looking at objectives, I just give you some samples of objectives. It could be you want to tell me more people about your business, all right? So that basically takes you to awareness, okay? Or it could be you want to sell more of your product or your service. So if you have social media pages, it could be you want to make social media sales. If you have a website, it could be you want to increase your website sales. And the third objective could be you want to identify your most valuable customers. Maybe you have a reward plan for your customers, so you want to, identify your most valuable customers so that you keep them coming back to you over and over again. And the other objective could be you want to find new ways to engage with previous customers. So that basically boils down to customer retention. Okay. So you also could be you want to find new ways to engage with your previous customers. And then what are some of the questions that you need to address? So we will look at a formula that you can use to basically understand and come up with the questions that you need to ask that will act as a guideline to the information that you want to collect. So that is the RIN acronym. I've mentioned the RIN. I've mentioned, basically more or less like a formula that you can use to come up with the questions that you need to ask about your business. So there's the RIN acronym. So you can see REAN. R stands for reach, E stands for engage, A stands for activate, and N stands for nurture. So if you're looking at, sending out questions about reach, maybe you want to understand the reach of your business. Okay, you can ask, who is my target audience and how do I reach them online? All right. So who buys my products? Who interacts with my products? Who interacts with my business? And where do I find them on the online space? All right. So the next question is, if I'm getting people reaching me or finding my page, are they finding what they need? Okay. So when they come to my page, do they find what they're looking for, all right? Because that is what you would want as a business. You would want them to come to your page and understand, you know what, I think I'm where I want to be. I've gotten the help that I need. Okay, this is exactly what I need. So you would need to understand, are they finding what they need? And then activate, are they booking? Because at the end of the day, even if they come there and they find you, they engage with you, and they're not converting with you, then you're not so much benefiting as a business. So are they booking? Are they making sales? Okay. Are they purchasing with me? Are they making appointments? Right. And then are they coming back? Because you don't want to make one time sales. You need to know, or you need to nurture your customers. You need to retain your customers. So you also need to understand, are my previous customers coming back? So if they're not coming back, why are they not coming back? All right, how can I make them come back again? So you can use the RIN acronym to formulate questions that you can ask yourself to help you in getting the information that you want. And then where do you get that information from? Where do you get that information from? I've already understood as a business, this is what I want to find out. These are the questions that I have. This is what I want to find out. But now, where do I get started with collecting this information? So maybe you have social media pages. You can basically collect that information from your social channels, right? And then you can also do it via organic search. If you have a Google business profile, remember in the last class, we talked about search engine optimization, where your local SEO is the Google business profile, and then your technical SEO is the Google Search Console. So you could also get that information from organic search. And then your website as well. If you have a website, you can always collect that information from your website. And you're going to look at in the next agenda. Remember, we said the session is divided into three. So in the next agenda, we're going to look at the different tools that you can use to collect that information. So you can also get this information from your website or on paid search. So if you're running search engine marketing, or if you've run Google Ads before, you can. I know in the last class we talked about the different channels of digital marketing. We mentioned 6 channels. So we said the search engine optimization, search engine marketing, content marketing, display advertising, email marketing, and what have I missed? And what have I missed? I think I've mentioned all of them. Yeah. So paid search is search engine marketing. So if you're running paid ads, you can always get that information from the campaigns that you have been running. And then what exactly do you do with that information? I've already known the questions that I've asked myself. I've known where to get this information. I have this information with me now. So what do I do with that information? So the power of insights can help you with understanding market trends. Okay, you're able to know what's trending right now, what's not trending right now, the incline and decline of a trend. Okay, and then you can make your business decisions in regards to that. You can always also look at previous market trends to be able to project maybe the demand of your product, the product demand or the service demand, maybe in the next coming year. The other thing you can do with insights is to understand your user experience. So when you're looking at the customer journey funnel, remember when you look at the funnel, it's usually wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. So there's awareness, when people get to know about the existence of your business. Then after awareness, there's interest. Are they interested? Okay. And then how many percentage of the people who actually get to know about your business their interests are sparked. And then the next stage after interest is evaluation. How many of your customers are taking time to actually weigh whether they want to purchase with you or pick your product or not, right? And then after that is engagement and then conversion. So you get to understand your customer journey experience, so you're able to know, I have like 50 people stuck at evaluations. How can I make them move down to engagement and then conversion? All right. And then you also get to learn about content marketing. You understand the different types of content that your clients interact with, their preferences in terms of the posts that you make. And then you can always leverage on that information to keep sharing posts according to their preferences. And then you're also able to adapt your strategy. So when I'm collecting insights, I can also do some bit of competitor analysis. So I'm able to know what's working out for my competitor, what's not working out for my competitor, and then I'm able to always adapt my strategy. Remember, as an entrepreneur, nothing is cast on stone, right? You have to be flexible. You have to be able to keep adapting because the market is changing, clients' interests are changing, so you have to always be at par with that. So up to that point, do I have any questions? Do I have any questions kindly? If there are any questions, please feel free to drop your questions. Yes, so as discomfort is we need to know if they're satisfied or know if we need to improve our services. Yeah, it's very important. Omono, what do you mean by the third point? The third point, that is under is that under the different kind of tools that you can use? Is that what you meant? Let me just go back to the previous slide. Did you mean your website or what did you mean? Because if you say the third point, I can go back to your website or I can go back to content marketing. So I am not sure exactly what you mean by the third point. So as we wait for Ruth to give us a clarification on her question or her clarification, are there any other questions that I can take up to that point? So if you're also good, if you're ready for us to move on to the next part of the session, you can drop me an emoji. So you can give me a smiley, a thumbs up to let me know that we are doing well. Let us move on to the second part of our session. So we basically covered the first part of our session. The second part, we're going to look at the different tools that you can leverage on to collect the information. Na PSA, apart from Google Ads, are there any other paid search options for gathering information? So you can also decide on, besides Google Ads, you can decide on social media marketing, okay? So there's Google Ads, which is mostly on the search engine. So that is purely search engine marketing. You can also decide on social media marketing. So you can do social media, paid ads, paid advertising on your social media. Okay. And then sometimes if you feel like maybe it's a bit too much and you don't have the resources for that, you can always decide on sending out a survey. So you can create a Google form, okay, and send out, if you have your customer emails, you can use your Google form and send out, emails to your customers just to try and, get their feedback. So they can fill the form and give you feedback. So any other question? Any other question? Ruth, I'm still waiting for you to clarify your statement. If you're also ready for us to move on to the next part of the session, please drop an emoji so that I know we are ready for us to move on to the next part. I want to understand that we're on the same page. I really hope you're on the same page. So please drop me an emoji, or you can tell me, Beryl, you know what? Please let's move on to the next part of the session. Thank you so much, PSA. And I love your name. It's a beautiful name. So please, thank you, Napiese, for that. Any other person, or she's the one speaking for everyone? It is cleared now. Awesome. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. Any other person? Are we all ready for us to move on? Thank you, Rebecca. I love that emoji. I think you shared the same emoji up there. I'm starting to think maybe it is your favorite emoji. Is it? Let me see. No, you had shared the one with the saint, the one with the halo on top. Okay. Thank you so much, Nafiese. Thank you. So we will move on to the second part of our session, identifying the best tools to use. So we've looked at how you can create your own questions to be able to understand the kind of information that you can get. We've looked at the RIN acronym, all right? You can use the RIN acronym to formulate your questions. RIN, so reach, engage, activate, and nurture, okay? So now we're going to look at the tools that you can use. So before we get into the tools, have you ever interacted with any analytics tool before? Have you ever interacted with any analytics tool before? So if you have, you can also tell me in the chat section, yes, I have used so and so tool to try and look at analytics, maybe for my social media pages or my website. Salatu Abubakar, thank you so much. So this is my question to you. Which analytics tool do you currently use or have you ever used before? If you've never used any analytics tool before, you can also tell me you have not used or interacted with any analytics tool before. I just want us to know where we all are, you know. I just want to understand our understanding of the different kinds of analytics tools that are available. So which analytics tool do you currently use or have you ever used? If you've never used, you can also just tell me in the chat section. Just let me know that you haven't interacted with any analytics tool before. Yes, Dinah, you figured it out. Dinah. Uh-huh. So which analytics tool have you currently, have you ever used before or are you currently using? So like I said, please feel free to indicate in the chat section if you have not interacted with any analytics tool before, you can always just tell me. A yes is an answer, a no is an answer, a maybe is also an answer, but silence is not an answer. Okay? So I'm just waiting for your responses in the chat section. Ruth, Rebecca, Napiese, Salatu, Ice D's, Comfort. I've used Google Analytics before, and there's also a platform called For that lists influencers. They help to analyze your following on social media too. I don't know why I'm laughing at Umar's emoji, but yeah. So I've used analytics tool before, and there's a platform called For that lists influencers. So they help to analyze your following on social media too. So that's also very good. If I wanted to, if I'm a brand and I wanted to, go into influencer marketing, I would obviously need to learn about, or rather know about their statistics in terms of the number of followers that they're having, the kind of followers, because that's also important. You might have 1,000 followers, but when I pick you to, sell my products, I'm not getting any conversion. So I'll give you an example. So there's an influencer who was tasked with basically selling T-shirts for a brand, and this influencer had I think like 5K followers, and she was not even able to sell 10 of the brand T-shirts. So remember, in terms of as much as you're looking at the quantity of the followers, the number of followers, it's also important to look at the quality of the followers. Okay, so it's also important to look at the quality of the followers. That's if you want to get into influencer marketing. So thank you so much, Gladys. All right. So we'll move on to, looking at the different tools that you can use. Uh, so remember when we said that the places, where do you get that information? We looked at the questions and then we looked at where you can get that information. So we said you can get them from your social channels. If you have Facebook, if you have Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you can get that information from there. So you can go to Facebook Analytics. You can get that information from Facebook Analytics. You can get that information from Twitter Analytics, right? You can get information from YouTube Analytics. If I go to my Facebook, say like the Facebook business page, okay, and I look at data for my previous post, I'll be able to see which was my best performing post, which post had the most likes, you know, at what time did people interact with such and such posts, okay? So I'm able to know how my performance on the social media channel is working out, okay? And then if you're using a social media management platform, so you can see the owl under Facebook, that represents Hootsuite platform. So Hootsuite platform is a social media management tool that you can use to manage all your social media platforms in one place. So assuming you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Google business profile, you can just add them onto your Hootsuite platform and you're able to manage all your channels in one place. If you have the Hootsuite app on your laptop or you have it on your phone, I'm not sure if you're able to download it, but I'm sure about it on the laptop because I've used it before on my laptop. So you're able to manage all your social media platforms in one place, and I'm able to get analytics about all these social media channels just from the Hootsuite back end. All right. So there's also another social media platform called management platform called Zoho that you can add all your social media pages and then manage them from there. So even if you're looking at analytics, you can get analytics from now the Zoho backend. All right. And then under organic search, remember in the last class we talked about organic search, the search engine optimization. We said you can use your local SEO being the Google business profile, and then your technical SEO being the Google Search Console. So you can get information about your Google business profile. So I created my profile, okay, and it got verified. I'm able to manage my profile. I have been making posts on my profile. So how do I know, the kind of people who are interacting with my profile? How do I know the kind of people who made calls just from visiting my profile? How do I know the kind of people who came to my profile? Where did they come from? Okay. Or when they came to my profile, did they search for my profile using my business name? Or they went online and searched for a product or service that I'm dealing with that made my listing appear to them. So that's, those are basically at the back of your mind, the kind of information that you would want to know. Or you've been making like 10 posts, okay? So which one got the most traction? Why did it get the most traction? Okay. And then how many people you've linked your website with your Google business profile? How many people clicked on your website and were redirected to your website from your Google business profile? You would want to understand all that information to be able to know whether that platform is working out for you or not. Okay. So you can go to Google Business Analytics, the Google My Business Analytics. You're able to get that information from there. And then when you're also looking at the Google Search Console, I really hope that you attended the last class where all these were covered. So when you're looking at the Google Search Console, you're able to know the keywords that are actually working out for you. Remember, when you want to improve your SEO, it means you have to optimize the keywords on your website mostly. Okay, so with the Google Search Console, you've linked it to your website. You're able to know the kind of keywords that brought people to your website, which pages on your website are well optimized. Okay. So you're able to get, if there's an issue with a page on your profile that needs to be worked on in terms of optimizing it, Google Search Console gives you alerts for that. Okay. So there's the Google Search Console. And then when you're looking at your website, there's the Google Analytics. You have a website. So you want to know how many people actually visited my website. Maybe right now we are ending 2022. You want to know how many people visited my website this 2022. Okay. Where did they come from? Who are these people? What did they do on my website? Okay. So the Google Analytics basically gives you an overview of the behavior of people when they come to your website. And then there's the paid search. You ran Google ads, you ran campaigns on the search engine. Okay. How many people actually clicked on that ad? All right. How many people clicked on that ad? So you want to know whether you had, you got some ROI because you put in some resource into the ads. So what is the ROI for that? So you can get that information from the Google ads. Okay, I'm able to know if I ran a lead generation ad, I'm able to know these are the people who actually filled in or clicked on my lead gen ad, okay? Or these are the people who came to my website via my Google ads, okay? So you can also get all that information, whether your campaign worked out for you or not, on Google ads. So I've talked about the Facebook page insights, where you can get them, the kind of information that you can get from your Facebook page, okay? The kind of content that people interact with. So assuming I've been making posts every day of the week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm able to know the post that got the most traction, and then maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I've been making posts maybe in the morning and in the evening. I'm able to know at what point are people actually interacting with my posts more. Okay, so I can make better marketing decisions, because if I look at my analytics and I see that if I make posts in the morning and I make posts in the evening, I'm getting like 10 views on my posts in the morning, but in the evening, I'm getting like 200, 300 views. It would only mean there's no point in posting in the morning. All right. Why post in the morning when it's not giving me the traction that I need? Okay. So I can also make better marketing decisions from there. I've talked about the Google Search Console. You get invaluable information about the website, your visitors, the keywords that are working out for you, the keywords that are, not on demand then, but you still have them on your website. So how can you better optimize your website? So remove the keywords that are not working out for you. Pick keywords that are actually working out for you to improve your SEO. I've talked about the Google Business Profile as well. Okay, you're able to understand how, whether your profile is working out for you or not, the kind of clicks that you're getting on your profile, the kind of calls or appointments that are made by people when they visit your profile, right? And then with the Google Trends, so Google Trends, you're able to identify, with Google Trends, you're able to identify market trends. Okay, so you're able to know the popularity of a search term, whether a search term is inclining, whether a search term is declining. Okay, I can even look at previous trends, assuming I am in the clothing industry. Okay, so I sell clothes, all seasons round. But I want to understand, I want to start bringing in winter clothes maybe for next year. I decide, you know what, I think I should start bringing in winter clothes. Okay, but I don't know at what point the demand will have increased. So I can go to previous, I can go to Google Trends. So just go online and search Google Trends. I can go to Google Trends and search for maybe uh, heavy winter jackets or heavy scarves or mittens, and search for them. The best thing with Google Trends, you can search a trend by location. Okay, so I can make those searches. I am based in Kenya, so I can make those searches for Kenya, right? Because Kenya technically is my market, right? Then I'm able to see that people started searching for winter clothing maybe around October thereof, or November, or around July, because it's usually cold in July. So people started searching for winter clothing around May, end of May thereof. So as a business person, so next year I will know that from previous years, maybe in 2021 and 2020, according to Google Trends, more and more people went online and searched for winter clothing around end of May and probably around end of October. So I will know these are the times that I can actually start bringing in those clothes. There would be no point in bringing in winter clothes during the summer. Okay, so that's how Google Trends will help you. So you get to rise above the competition with Google Trends. You're able to find relevant trending topics. Okay, so I'll also give you another example. I'm a shop that sells iPhones. All right, then I decide, you know what? I think I need to figure out the what kind of other Apple products that my customers would like. Okay, so I go online and decide maybe I can start bringing in the Fitbit, the smart Fitbit watches. So I go online on Google Trends and search smart Fitbit watches. All right, so it gives me related queries. The best thing with Google Trends, so it tells you this is what you've searched for. You've searched for smart Fitbit watches, but the related queries, meaning the related search terms that people are also using, maybe they're right now they're really focused on Series 6 or Series 7 of the Fitbit watches. So I basically know that if I bring in the smartwatch Fitbit Series 1, maybe it's out of date. All right. So maybe now people want the Series 6 and Series 7 according to the related queries that were shown to me on Google Trends. Okay. So I want to bring in a new product. I can decide on the Series 6 or 7. Then I'm also able to monitor my competitors. I'm able to conduct keyword research. And this basically takes you back to the related queries that I've just talked about. So you're able to know the search terms that people are using to search for a product, and you can use that search term to optimize your website. Okay, the keywords on your website. You can also use the search terms to for your Google ads, because when you're doing the search engine marketing, you also have to bid on keywords. So that means you still have to do keyword research. And then you're also able to promote around seasonal trends. I've talked about this when I gave the example of the winter clothing, and you're able to find topics by region. If I want to venture into the South African market, I want to venture into the Nigerian market, I can just go online and search for their trends by region and just narrow down to Nigeria. Okay. So with the Google Analytics, I also talked about this, be able to understand the behavior of people when they come to your website. All right. So I will be taking a breather at this point. Do I have any questions up to this point? Do I have any questions? Any questions so far? Thank you. So not used analytics for business purposes before. Okay, Gladys. Umar said she never used one. Devo Shots, good to be here. I'm Uma Patricia from Nigeria. Thank you so much, Devo Shots, for joining our session. Okon, good afternoon. I'm Ikeme Sit, watching from Nigeria. Thank you. Ruth, wow, Ruth is amazed. Charity, no, I've never. Uh-huh. Who else? Okay, what is RI? So I said ROI, which means return on investment. So you put in money into something, you want to see the outcomes of it. So that is the ROI, return on investment. Return on investment. Okay? Yeah. So that's the second pause. Thank you so much, Lorianne. So do I have any question again up to that point? I can't see any question that I have missed. Do I have any question up to that point? So like the previous, in the previous agenda, the first agenda, so we've covered 2 agendas. We have one last agenda to cover, right? So if you have no question, you can tell me, you know what, Beryl, I don't have any question. You can drop me an emoji again, a smiley, a thumbs up, to let me know that we can move on to the next part of our session. So I'm actually waiting for the cues from you. I'm looking at the chat. All right. I think you meant to say all right, Ruth. So you can just drop me an emoji or tell me you have no question, so that you can move on to the next part, which is the last part of our session. How do you understand and analyze analytics? How do you understand and analyze these analytics? That's the last part of our session. Napiese, thank you. Usually the first one to give me an emoji to move on to the next part of the session. Thank you so much. It's a good encouragement. So you can drop me your favorite emoji. You can tell me you have no questions, that I know we're ready to move on to the next part of our session. Any question, please? Or tell me no question. It's only Napi or Essay. Let me call you Essay. It's only Essay who's communicating with me. You're also quiet. Like I said, I really would not like this to seem like a lecture where I'm just talking, and then I end the session and I go. So I like to see some interaction, some comments from you. Oh, I know that. Awesome. Faith has also given me an emoji. Thank you, Faith, for that. I really appreciate. Okay, so Lauren, in the next few minutes, Lauren will post the attendance link. So please make sure to sign up, fill in the attendance form, and input your correct name as you'd want for it to appear in your certificate. So make sure you fill in the attendance form, to make and fill in your correct name as you'd want for it to appear in your certificate. So I this comfort, I see you. Thank you. So we'll move on to the last part of our session. Francisca, Fran. I'm Francisca Sare Bidiako from Fiscanodes Enterprise. Nice to have you here, Francisca. Thank you so much for taking time to join the session. So the last part of this class is looking at understanding and analyzing this data that you've collected. So when you're looking at the Google Analytics dashboard, I know Napiese said she has interacted with Google Analytics before, so she should be able to know how the dashboard looks like. So I know there's a lot of line graphs, there's a lot of bar graphs, but it's actually quite easy to understand depending on the kind of information that you're looking at. When you want to get started with setting up your analytics account, you can go to analytics.google.com. Lorian or Dinah will post this link in the chat section, analytics.google.com. All right. When you want, but remember the Google Analytics actually works for you if you have a website. All right. You need to have a website for the analytics account to be able to make sense to you because you're basically collecting data on the performance of your website. So you need to go to analytics.google.com. The link will be posted in the chat section. Choose a name for your account, which I would recommend you would include your business name. So choose a name for your account and then choose your industry category. What is your industry category? Okay. So normally web developers actually know how to input this code for you because you need to input a code on the page that you want to track. So assuming your website is an e-commerce. So maybe you have the home page, about us page, product page where you've listed all your products, and then there's the contact us page. Okay. So you put the tracking code on the page that you want to track. Probably you want to track your products page to see what people are doing, how many people are filling their carts. So when you go to an e-commerce site, you have to pick a cart, drop your items on the cart. Okay. So depending on the page that you want to track, or maybe you want to track the contact us page because you want to see the number of people who actually click on the number to call or fill in the inquiry form. Most websites have the inquiry form on the contact us page. So maybe you want to see, how many people actually make that action. Okay. So you need to input a tracking code on the page that you want to track on your website. So when you're using a website builder, the last class we looked at, there's Wix, there's WordPress, there's Google Sites. For you, when you're building your own website, there's a simple field where you can add the tracking ID of your website. So basically, input the tracking ID of your website to be able to track their pages that I mentioned you want to track. So when you're also looking at the main areas of reporting, when you want to do reporting, you want to create a report, okay? You need to segregate it into different topics for better understanding. So it could be about the audience. First, you're doing a report and on who are your audience, all right? Who are your audience? Who are your target audience? Who are people that are interacting or have interacted with you? And then on acquisition, how did they find me? Did they come to my website via my Google Ads? Did they come to my website via my social media pages? Did they come to my website via my Google business profile? Okay, so you need to know how did they find me, and then segregate the report again according to behavior. What did they do? Okay, and then on conversion, because at the end of the day, I think this is mostly what is most. I mean, this is mostly what is valuable to most businesses. What are they worth to me? Did they make the conversion that they want, that I want them to make? Did they take the action that I want them to make? Okay. So when you're looking at the Google Analytics, this is just an example. Okay. And basically, if you have one, I'm sure you've seen that. This is a part of the analytics that you can get this report from. So when you're looking at your website, you can see I have number 1 to 7. All right. So there's the dimension part, which is the channels, the what. Okay. So what brought people to your website? All right. And then the numbers associated with those channels. So when you're looking at the organic search for this website had more people coming to them, to their site via organic search. Okay. And then that is, they had 7,340 users, 6,571 new users, and 8,050 sessions. So sessions are basically the amount of time that people take when they visit your site. Okay. Then the next thing that worked for them is referral. I'll talk about referral sites in the next slide. Okay. And then the third channel that actually brought people to their site was direct search. So people basically searched for their websites directly on the search engine. Okay. Number four is paid search. That means they ran paid campaigns. Okay. And out of the paid campaigns, 656 users were able to visit their website. Right. So you're able to know what's working out for you or what's not working out for you. Like in this case, you can see display is number 7. So probably they ran display ads, okay, with only 75 people, users coming to their site via display ads. It basically means it's not really working out for them, because if you see the difference between number 1, organic search, and display, it's a bit too much. Then it basically means there's absolutely no point in running display ads if it's not giving you the ROI that you intended. So let's go back to the RAIN acronym. Okay. When we came up with the questions, we asked ourselves, how are people finding me online? Okay. So you get to identify which search terms are driving organic traffic. You know, you're able to know which terms they're actually using to drive organic traffic. And then you're able to develop relationships with the referral websites. I had said I'm going to talk about referral websites. So actually, most tours and travel companies are the ones who like working with referral websites. I don't know if you've heard of Booking.com or TripAdvisor. So they basically list, different businesses, different products, different packages that different businesses have. Okay. So assuming I'm a tours and travel companies, I have my own website. Then I go and pay maybe TripAdvisor or booking.com to list me on their website. Okay. Then I see that um, when I'm looking at my results, when I'm looking at my analytics, I see that maybe 500 people came to my website via booking.com and 50 people came to my website via TripAdvisor. Remember, I'm paying TripAdvisor and I'm paying booking.com to list me. Then it basically means that if I have 500 people coming to my website from booking.com and 50 from TripAdvisor, there's absolutely no point in working with TripAdvisor if it's not giving me the value for my money. Do you understand? So I'm able to develop relationships with those that are not working out for me. It's okay to review that partnership and cut it off and remain with the ones that are working out for you. Okay. And then under engage, we asked ourselves, what are people engaging with when they find me online? So able to know which pages are not getting views. So I'm looking at my website. I have 5 pages on my website: home page, about page, product page, contact us page, and maybe the image page. Okay. Then I see that most people are not um, spending time on the about us page on my website. But at the end of the day, I also want them to learn about my business. So maybe I can try and include appealing images on my about us page. If it's too wordy, I can reduce the words. Do you understand? And then maybe on my social media pages, I've been posting static images and videos, and I'm seeing that most people are interacting with video content more. Then it basically means I need to put in more work on video content. Maybe I can decide on carousels, multiple images instead of just using one static image. Anyway, so and then on activate, which channel is driving the most bookings? I mentioned this when I talked about when you're working with different referral sites, one is working out for you, the other is not working out for you. It's okay to cut off the ones that are not working out for you, because you're looking at value addition at the end of the day. And then on nurturing, are my customers happy to leave a review? Remember when you started the class, I think I had some responses about people saying that, they would want to know whether their customers can leave reviews. So you can also look at the different ways to encourage your purchasers to drop a review. So I will give you an example of the power of reviews. I go online, I want to go on a safari. I go to different, maybe Google My Business sites. Okay. I go to different Google My Business sites, and I see one site has 1 star rating, the other one has a 2 star rating, and the other one has a 5 star rating. I will obviously feel inclined to interact with the one with the 5 star rating than the one with the 1 star or 2 star. No, because it basically shows that, they have more and more people satisfied with their services. Okay. I talked about the Google Trends, okay, and what you can benefit from the Google Trends, and what you can benefit from the Google Trends. So I said you're able to identify seasonal trends, you're able to identify what's trending. You can look at trends by location, okay, and then you can project your product demand maybe for the next coming year, okay, and then you're also able to create content about current trends, because you get to know about keywords. I searched for this. It gave me related queries on that. I can use that information to optimize my keywords on my website. Or if I'm doing paid ads, I can use the keywords to increase my bidding chances, my chances of winning a bid. Okay. So that is the end. Do I have any question? Please remember to fill in the attendance form that has been posted by Lorianne and Dinah. Any question up to that point? Deborah is joining from Nigeria. Rachel. Yes. So Rachel, you can always get access to this recording with the same training link. So immediately after this session, if you feel like you want to look at the recording, you can always access the recording with the same training link. Any questions up to that point? Do I have any questions? Do I have any questions up to that point? No questions? Okay, so also remember to sign up for the Google Hustle Academy. I talked about the Google Hustle Academy. You know, uh, uh, you know, if you want to learn how to pitch, you're looking at your business strategy, how do you get started with digital marketing? So please remember to sign up for the Google Hustle Academy. The link will be posted in the chat section. If you also want to learn on your own, you can self-learn on learndigital.withgoogle.com. The link will also be posted in the chat section. And then remember to follow us on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Digital Skills for Africa, or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Impact Huh. Thank you for taking time. Yes, yes, yes. We have more sessions. So there are 3 more sessions to go. In the next class, you're going to look at creating your own digital marketing strategy. And then the next class, we look at implementing Google Workspace across your business, and then staying productive online. So thank you so much for attending today's class, and I hope to see you in the next class. Remember to remind your friends to join the class, send them the links, remind everyone to attend the sessions. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, and enjoy your evening. Bye, guys.